You are listening to the B.I.G Show with your hosts, Calvin and Garland. The B.I.G Show is a weekly breakdown of the sports world from a fan's perspective. Here are your hosts, Calvin and Garland.
It is the big show.
We took a 2-week hiatus.
It's
I
about a
know
week and a half. It's about a week and a half.
we fooled y'all. Y'all thought we was back in the pocket, but we got back out the pocket again. So
It's about a week and a half. That's all. It wasn't even 2 weeks.
they was like, oh, they did got consistent again. Nope. No, we haven't.
Be consistent.
No, we not.
Hey, it's the big show. We are live on YouTube right now. You can see us on all the podcast platforms. And if you have Spotify, you get to see our beautiful faces, which you haven't seen in about a week. I'm Calvin. That guy over there is Garland. What you got going on today, sir? What's up with you?
What's going on, man? Good day. Working hard. Doing what you got to do. Mother's Day is coming up. So shout out to all the mothers. You know, we hadn't had a woman on in a while since Robin. And so, I know we did that as a Mother's Day special, but we got to find a sports babe to join us sometimes, just to balance out the male energy, just, the big guy energy and what have you. But shout outs to all the mothers out there. My mom, she's resting in the bosom of the Lord. She transitioned. It'll be 3 years coming up in on the 17th next week, and so that's in her memory. And my wife, who's a outstanding mother to my children. I always joke with people like they'd be like, "What you getting your wife for Mother's Day?" I'd be like, "Nothing. She ain't my mother." That's wrong. That's the mother of your children. I'm like, "Yeah, but that's
the
right."
Children are old enough to get their
The
own
children
gifts
are old
for their
enough.
mother. They
That's
not
their
babies.
mother. Yep, they ain't
Shoot.
babies. They got jobs and whatnot. No, that they ain't my mother. That's my wife. So I love doing that. Sisters
It's the truth.
hot. It's the truth.
Do the kids get anything for you for your
No.
anniversary? They get something for her for you?
Right. No.
You
know what? It's funny. They did give us something. They gave us an anniversary card. They gave us a nice little gift card.
Yeah, but that's for both of y'all. But do they ever get anything for her that says this is from Daddy to help you out on anniversary? No. So why you gotta help them out on Mother's Day?
No. I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. You ain't said nothing but a thing. Nothing but a thing.
I don't want your kids beating me up, man. I'm just joking, y'all.
Yeah, but we trying to, do something nice to recognize my wife, and she's a virtuous woman, as the Bible says. Her children will speak well of her. And so yeah. She deserves whatever she gets.
That's what's up.
What's up? What about you, my friend?
I just had the landlord's birthday, his third birthday last week. It's just one reason why we weren't able to record, and got his mother to take care of him. Now he's still a baby, so I'm gonna have to buy him something, to get to her because he
ain't working at the point yet. Although he a landlord, he getting money. He really ain't working yet. So
yeah, man. Just other than that, just chilling. Working. Going to these. It's the summer now, so
right.
My little job is in we getting asked to
they little outside now.
Many different little events. I had 3 events tomorrow night. I had one last night, but tomorrow I done chopped it down to one event. So I couldn't do all 3.
That's what ballers do. Swing it. That's what ballers do, y'all. The life of a baller. I said the other day, this man should be running the business. He should be running it for the city. Let me talk to Brandon. I'm gonna send Brandon something. Brandon's the man, y'all. Brandon Scott. I need to send Brandon. That's my Park Ice brother. I need to send him something. Pimlico. Like, yo, my man's right there. You need to. He all for the city.
Yeah. I'm good. I'm good where I'm at. Trust me. I'm good where I'm at.
So, bro, a lot is going on in the sports world, man. Let's go ahead and jump into it, man. We missed the last couple of weeks. Trust me, I've been busting at the seams about Shedeur Sanders, and so we got to start off with the final word on Shedeur. And so, unless you've been asleep under a rock or you've been out of the country for the last 3 weeks, you know that Shedeur Sanders, who a lot of people thought was one of the top quarterbacks coming out in this year's draft class, was not drafted in the first round, the second round, the third round, the fourth round, nor the fifth. He was not, I mean, excuse me, the fourth round, but he was drafted in the fifth round. Let me give that to him. He wasn't a sixth round pick. He was drafted in the fifth round by the Cleveland Browns. People thought he would go much higher, and Black America went crazy. I had people all in my DMs because I had a different view about Shedeur and his daddy subprime, and all the conspiracy theories. I did saw Dr. Umar had something out. Thank God Kevin Samuels ain't here because he would have weighed in as well. And oh my God, we had so many things. Stephen A. And so we didn't really get to talk about what we thought about Shedeur and what happened. And so we're going to give you a little bit. We know it's like a week or two late and all those things, but um, let's start with this, Calvin. Do you think there was a conspiracy against Shedeur and Dion?
I don't think it was a uh, yes and no. It's
Okay.
not conspiracy. But I think it was, and I don't even think it was any type of collusion. I think it may have been each owner kind of, I may not want the daddy, the what comes with it. I think they were may have been a little hesitant on it. I don't want to say they don't want it, but stuff like that makes you a little bit of hesitance. Gave him some pause to probably draft him a little higher. So I'll just say that I don't think it was necessarily a conspiracy, like
Right. Yeah, you
that
had
kind.
people. Yeah, this was a thing to bring the black man down, and NFL. Let's boycott the NFL. They did my man Kaepernick the same way. They didn't want to see black men. If it was a black fathers looking out for black sons, and I I agree with you. It didn't have anything to do with a conspiracy. It just had to do with, I think there was some misreading in terms of what Shedeur was worth to other teams, what they saw in terms of how Shedeur fit on their team and what his value was in the draft. And um, I think that's what played out. I mean, teams has proven over the years they take someone who has a horrible record, who is compromised ethically, and all those things. If they think that person's going to help them win and win a championship, it's proven that they'll take them. I mean, the Ravens, they just took a person who had two alleged sexual assaults, not proven, but those alleged sexual assaults, for a guy who was viewed as a top 15 pick, moved him all the way down to the second round. He lost a couple $1 million over that. And so, if anything, it's proven that teams, and what was the question to EDC? Hey, how do you feel about this? And hey, we did our research. We feel secure. And they went ahead and took them. And so, I don't think there was any conspiracy. I think this is just the way that the draft played out. I don't think his grade was high. And I think as teams started drafting, and then you got to positions where quarterback was not a priority, he just started getting passed over. I don't think anybody has anything against Dion or against Shedeur. I mean, Dion was a great player. Why would you hate on Dion? I can hate on subprime. I don't hate on Dion, the player, but um, yeah, I don't think there was any conspiracies on that. But one of the discussions is, okay, you got this thing. Let's bring a black person down, or what was wrong with them having the confidence of going into the draft and calling their shot. And we heard Dion leading up to the draft talking about he was going to pull a Eli. He was going to do like what Eli's father did, Archie Manning. He's going to pull a Eli and tell because he wanted his son to go to specific teams. All these teams were not going to get his son. And so, do you think Shedeur or the Sanders family carry any responsibility for this drop in the draft?
Well, you're going to always
Mm.
carry some when you're a personality like Deion Sanders. So, and I think Deion Sanders is well aware of any negative feedback and any consequences that he's going to get, because it just follows him around. He's aware of the decisions he make, and they're not always popular. So this could be one of those decisions. And again, like I said, I'm sure there were teams that were like, yeah, I don't want to have to deal with what's outside of the field, what comes with it, because you know what's going to come with it, especially if he's a high draft pick. So, yeah, you got to take some responsibility for it. But on the other end, you also take some responsibility and take some solace in. I don't believe now. This is where I do say that I do think this is some of the Dion factor, or some of the media factor, whatever you want to call it. But I don't believe that he is the, what were there, 4 or 5 quarterbacks taken before him.
Yeah, yeah,
I
the
don't
second.
believe that he's the fifth or sixth best quarterback in this draft. I do believe he's at the least third, but I believe he's the second best quarterback in the draft. So I do think there's a little bit of that. They just didn't want to deal with him. And it also could be scheme or what fits the team, but I just don't believe he's the fifth or sixth best quarterback that came out of that draft.
Yeah, I know when we talked about him, we was evaluating it. I was saying I didn't think he would get out of the top 10. I didn't think he would fall out of the first round. I
Right.
thought there were at least 3 or 4 teams that needed quarterbacks that would give him a chance. Cleveland, Giants, Saints, and the Steelers. I figured he would land somewhere in between, either before 10 or in the low 20s. And of course, that didn't happen. I don't think he did himself any favors, or Dion did him any favors in terms of leading up to the draft and that whole process. I think they pissed on the process, and as a result of pissing on the process, a lot of these teams just said it's not worth the headache,
Right.
especially if we don't have him rated that high. You know, I alluded, and when I've been talking to people about this, I've been alluding to a spades analogy. You know, if you've ever played spades, for my people out there, probably a lot of black people, if you play spades, I think that Dion and Shedeur looked at their hand and they thought they were going to run a Boston, but they got set. They thought they were going to get all the books, but they got set. And I think, we're getting the reports that Shador went into the interviews, basically the teams that he did not like, basically was like, whatever. They telling the Giant story. Nobody it's real, because nobody in Dion's camp or Shador's camp is denying that it happened. That he had a not a big confrontation, not that him and Brian Dable were swinging, but they sent some information for him to study. He did not study the information, and then when they confronted him about not studying the information, he basically like, oh, y'all not the team for me. And hey, these people talked. These things start getting around. All these guys have worked together at some point in their careers, and so that sunk them. And then I didn't think Dion did him any favors talking about they're going to pull an Eli. I think the thing, and I've been joking. The elders always tell me we can't do what the white man do and think we're going to get the same result. We can't, go and talk all this stuff and think we're going to get the same result. Because one thing a lot of people don't realize, although his father came out and said he did not want him to go to the Chargers, who drafted Eli Manning? Do you know?
Yeah, the Chargers drafted
The,
him, and
Char- the Chargers
yeah, they
drafted him.
they
And the
drafted him and
only
got traded
reason,
to the
yeah,
Giants.
and he got traded to the Giants. The only reason that they were able to do that is because the Giants said, okay, we'll draft um, Philip Rivers. You guys want Philip Rivers? We'll draft you. But the Giants could have easily said no, because as a matter of fact, I saw Ernie Corsi on an interview. He said, we wanted Ben Roethlisberger in that draft. But we did make an agreement we would do it, but they could have changed their mind and said, "Oh no, we're just going to go ahead and go with Roethlisberger," and he would have been stuck with the Chargers. So although his father said he didn't want his son to play for the Chargers, they still drafted him anyway, and there was a possibility he could have stayed on that team if they were not able to make that trade. And so, I think it's a learning lesson. I think it's a learning lesson. I don't think this is something to break the black man, but I think we have to understand that when we prepare for an interview, you got to come in like you're showing the people. I think they came into the process saying, what can y'all do for me, as opposed to this is what I can do for you. This is how I can make you better. If you bring me in, I'm going to work hard. I'm going to do these things, because if I view you as a backup, I just want you holding the clipboard. I don't want nobody to know who you are until it's time that we need you. And I don't think that was their approach.
Yeah, but I will say this: their approach or not, the at the end of the day, it still got them what they wanted. Maybe not in the way they wanted, but he still got drafted.
This is the
Um,
most popular fifth round pick
yeah,
ever.
he still got drafted, and
Right.
it's not calling for a need to change. Look at the Ball brothers, Lavar's sons in basketball. It's not calling for a need to change. They still made it to the NBA. Two of the three made it to the NBA.
Sure.
So it's one of them things where maybe you didn't get there the normal way, but you got there. You got there some kind of way. And like I said, at the we were at the baseball game talking about this. This could end up being the greatest fifth round pick ever. The
Good.
Cleveland Browns could have gotten a steal in the draft. We don't know.
They could.
He's there now. So now you just got to perform. You got to win the job. Or if you don't win the job, at least
Mhm.
show enough where another team wouldn't mind picking you up if you get cut or if you get traded or something
Sure.
like that. So
Sure. I You think he sees the field this year?
uh, it- I, I think he is the second. Well, they still have what's his name, Kenny
They got
Pickett. I still think he's
Flacco,
the.
Pickett, and
I
Gabriel.
I think he's the, and they still have Watson. So Watson
Right.
probably won't see the field, but
Watson's not going to play this
I
year.
still think he is the either second or best or third best quarterback on that team. So
Hmm.
there is a possibility,
Okay.
especially if if you're looking at a season. I mean, injuries aside, if you're looking at a season where if they're not expected to go far, if towards the end of the season they know they're out of it, I can see him getting on the field, getting some field time, and actually showing what he can do.
I wouldn't mind if they stashed him on the practice squad. He got a year to, get acclimated, and then that
Hmm.
next year, they're probably going to bring Watson back at least one more year, try to give it a try for that 1 year of that remaining contract, and you never know what happens. But if they can develop him into that player, for those that year or two and bring him in, I think it's the right system. It's so crazy. I was telling someone I think Cleveland is the right team for him. I think the Stefanski system is the right system for him. Um, I think he could get there. Maybe this is an opportunity for them to groom him, but they got to win. I don't know if Stefanski will be there in 2 years.
Well, this is also an opportunity for the Browns. So if you notice, the
Mm-hmm.
model now is to get these really good rookies
Mm-hmm.
and win when they're on their rookie contract before
Right.
you have to start paying them. I mean, he's a fifth round pick, so his rookie contract is even lower. I mean, unless he just shows off, he's not going to break the bank. They
Yeah.
have the
Kind of like a
opportunity.
Brock Purdy
Yeah,
contract
yeah,
probably coming
they
up.
have the opportunity to really, really build around this player. So we'll see.
We'll
You
see.
know, I
But
I hope they stink. I mean, let's be honest. They're in the AFC North, so I hope they stink.
right, right, of course. Uh, Big news around here, and it made a little whimper nationally, but bigger here. The Baltimore Ravens release kicker Justin Tucker on Monday. Justin Tucker had a 13-year career here with the Ravens. He ends his career here with the Ravens with the all-time career record in field goal made percentage at 89.1%. Although he leads with that very large average. I mean, I think he averaged in the high 80s, 90s for most of his career. Last year was not a stellar year for him. He only made 73.3% of his kicks last year. His highest was 94.6, in which he led the league, and this was 2021. Tucker, I mean, the awards that I mean, not the awards, but the games that he won for the Ravens. I watched that 66 yard field goal against the Lions, all the clutch kicks that he made over the years. But if Tucker had what started as several allegations against him by masseuse at local um, I'm sorry, local
Massage
massage
parlors.
parlors. Thank you. At local massage parlors turned into, at last record, 16 accusations against him for inappropriate behavior, which is leading to an NFL investigation, which also in turn led to the Ravens drafting a kicker. The first time they've drafted a kicker in their 30 or more year existence, in the sixth round, kicker out of Arizona. And so, um, what are your thoughts, Justin? In turn, I mean, I'll call you Justin because I'm thinking about Justin Tucker. Are you pleased? A lot of people had. There was a statement that was released by the Ravens. If you give me a minute, Baltimore Ravens, Justin Tucker. I want to read the statement that they made, and we can get some context before we go into. Oh God. Okay. Did it? Of course, it's not going to be there. And let me pull it up on Twitter real quick. Yeah. So Justin Tucker. Really, I mean, he had probably more at one point. I would say he had more endorsements than Lamar Jackson. His jersey was probably one of the top jerseys that was selling by the team because he was just so popular. And then running into that trouble in terms of his performance on the field, and then when the allegations start coming out at the end of the year, a lot of people just started putting two and two together. And so this is the statement from Executive Vice President and General Manager Eric DaCosta. Sometimes football decisions are incredibly difficult, and this is one of these instances. Considering our current roster, we have made the tough decision to release Justin Tucker. Justin Tucker created many significant and unforgettable moments in Ravens history. His reliability, focus, drive, resilience, and extraordinary talent made him one of the league's best kickers for over a decade. We are grateful for Justin's many contributions while playing for the Ravens. We sincerely wish him and his family the very best in this next chapter of their lives. And so, hearing that, what are your thoughts about the statement that was released by the Ravens about Tucker?
If you're a player in the NFL, the Ravens is the type of organization that you want to come to because they released him with courtesy and grace that he probably does not deserve if these allegations hold true. And there's no reason to believe that they won't hold true because the banner, and I actually had some inside information, the banner did some solid work on this.
Mhm.
And if you notice, there's been, other than Justin Tucker just saying, I didn't do it, there hasn't been any threatening of lawsuits or
Right.
anything out there. So if you're playing the NFL, the Ravens is the type of organization you want. If you are a fan of the Ravens, you kind of side eye and you're like, yeah, but when you drafted the kicker, you knew that you were going to make a move on Justin Tucker. Like we all saw that coming.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
We were saying that they got to draft a kicker
Yeah,
at the
we
end.
were just thinking
Yeah.
about the competition of it because he sucked last year.
Right.
We were even talking about maybe he got to go, and this was even before the allegations. We were all
Right.
like, he's not playing well. It might be time for him to go.
Right.
Um, it's a tough situation, but again, the investigation must not be favorable because the Ravens aren't an organization that really jumps and lets their players go necessarily. They have a couple different times. But if a player has been a fan favorite and contributed, now you can't be a liability on and off the field. And although towards the end of the season, Justin was fine, but he lost to some games at the beginning of the season, which at the end didn't really matter towards anything. But I don't know, man. I have a hard time as a husband and the father of two young girls. I have a hard time being settled with him just being able to leave in, I don't want to say he should have left in disgrace, but there's still a question of, um, is he a first ballot Hall of Famer like he surely was? Is he, should he be in the Ravens Ring of Honor? I've heard a lot of talk that, time heals everything, but for something like this, does time really heal that? People liken it to Ray Rice. The the one thing that I will say about Ray Rice is that the woman that he assaulted forgave him and married him. So the person that was the recipient of the bad acts forgave him. Um, and Ray Rice has spent most of that time trying to redeem himself for that and admitted to it. Justin Tucker is, I don't want to say still in denial because he still hasn't been convicted. These are still allegations at the end of the
Sure.
day. But I just have a hard time with him leaving in the manner that EDC pushed him off. Which, again, if you're an NFL player, this is the type of organization you want to be with because they let you leave with grace and all kinds of accolades. So I have a hard time with that.
Okay. I'll
And I'm a
say,
fan. I'm a
yeah,
Tucker fan,
of
or
course. Yeah,
was a Tucker fan.
I'm a fan. I'm a fan.
Okay.
I will say that I agree with you. Well, no, let me back up and say this. They had to make the statement this way. A lot of people pissed, oh, they didn't
I
mention the
agree. Yeah,
allegations
I
and all.
agree.
They had to do it this way legally. Why? Because he could file a grievance saying that they're blocking him from getting another job, that
Makes
they
sense.
let him go without finding out, any ruling on the allegations. So they had to make it, quote unquote, it was a football move.
Or they could have said nothing.
Well, they could have said nothing and just cut him, but that's not the type of organization they are. This a legacy player.
Yes,
Now if it was a
exactly.
first year guy and you were cutting him the next year, okay, you don't have to say anything. But this is a guy that spent 13 years with you, that won a
Hmm.
Super Bowl with you, that won
Hmm.
a lot of games for you. And so,
At
yeah,
times was the only thing
was the
that
only
the
team.
Ravens
Yeah,
had.
it was
Yeah,
him and
I
Mark
agree.
Andrews. It was
I agree.
him and yeah. And so yeah, it was nice that they said something and it was positive. I think that um I was just reading something in the paper today. The president, the not the president, but the former athletic director at a local university, he's suing the school because he reported a violation by one of the coaches. The coaches were sexually assaulting some of the players on his team, and so he reported it. But in the midst of the reporting, the school decided to fire the AD. And in their statement, they said that it was a lot of administrative issues and all of these things. And the person was like, "Well, this is blocking me from getting a job because you're making it seem like I did something wrong, but I did what I was supposed to do." And uh, the university's been trying to get the case dismissed, but the judge ruled today that it can go forward because what they said was libel in their statement. And so if they come out and say, "Yeah, we're sorry about the 16 people that he did this to," Justin Tucker gonna sue.
Well, they didn't have to. They didn't have to go
Yeah,
that
but
far.
that's what people want. Oh, at some if they came out and said that, Justin Tucker's gonna sue. He's going to get
Yeah,
litigious if they came out and said that. And as a matter of fact, if you notice when they interviewed Harbaugh, I think it was Sunday at the rookie mini camp. Harbaugh, he was leading up to what they're going to do. He's like, "Yeah, if it comes down to a decision, it's going to be a football decision." Okay, then what's in
yeah,
the statement on Monday? It's a football decision. And so, yeah, they were already laying the groundwork that. And I think from rookie mini camp, they probably got the kid in, they saw him, and was like, "Okay, we good. I think we can go ahead
yeah.
and make that move." And so, I understand it. I'm going to miss Tuck. A lot of times when Tuck was kicking the game winner, man, I get up and go to the bathroom. I go get some food because I know he's going to make it. And so it's going to be hard not seeing him. I don't want him to go to anybody in the AFC North if he does. Now, as a matter of fact, you think he's going to get an opportunity to play again? Or you think this is it for Tucker?
So I think they're going to have to see what actually comes out. That's the one thing that hasn't happened yet. I don't see a team picking him up, number one, at his age and coming off the season that he had. I don't
Mm-hmm.
see a team picking him up right away, especially until we actually hear what the NFL investigation uncovers. Now, if it uncovers and he's been exonerated of all that, absolutely, he'll get another shot. Or he should anyway. But now, you got these guys now. If you actually think about it, if you look at these kickers now, like the kicker in Dallas, you got these guys who I believe it took about 40 something years for Justin Tucker to break that record. I think we're going to have a guy breaking that record within the next 5 or 6 years. The guy at Dallas is a great candidate for it. I mean, you got
Mm-hmm.
these kickers now with these big legs.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there may not even be any room for Tucker any longer.
Yeah, the technical quality of kicking has gotten so much better. I mean, when
Hmm.
we were younger in the 70s and 80s, even up in the 90s, kicking was it was a wash. If he hit the field goal, anything outside of 30, you were kind of like, But kicking has gotten so much better, even at
Hmm.
the collegiate level now that you got guys coming in that are legit. And so I trust the Ravens. I mean, if anything they've done in their career, they found kickers. They found Justin Tucker, who was an undrafted free agent. Before that, they had Stover. After Stover, they had several good kickers who have gone on still kicking in the league for other teams. And so
Hmm.
they've, if anything, that special teams coach has done, the kicking specialist, he has been able to find good kickers. And so, um,
Justin
I,
Tucker was our last link to the Super Bowl, to the last
yeah,
Super
it
Bowl,
was the
as a matter of
last
fact.
player
He's
from
the
that Super
last
Bowl
one.
team.
Yeah.
What do you think about zero tolerance policies, Calvin? I mean, now a part of this also that they had to move on, although they did not say it, they said it's a football decision, is that they got a zero tolerance policy. Harbaugh, he said it when the Browns signed Deshaun Watson, that hey, he wouldn't be on this team. We got a zero tolerance policy. Well, do you think this is players make mistakes?
Yeah, it's hard to die on that hill,
Hmm.
especially in the age of social media, the age where information is so easily gathered, so
Hmm.
easily assumed. It's really, really difficult. I think they may need to adjust that statement because it's coming back to bite them. Now, most people are rational where they're just like, yeah, it's hard to have a zero tolerance policy. I mean, schools are supposed to have a zero tolerance policy, but it's just
Right.
difficult because people make mistakes. Some people do it maliciously, some people do it accidentally. Some people, if they think they can get away with one or they do get away with it, they're going to continue to do it. I think you just need to not say it. Let's just say that
Sure.
everything should be a case by case basis because you can't draft Mike Green even before you let Justin Tucker go. You can't draft Mike Green, and then when they start coming back to you with that, well, what about the zero tolerance policy?
Right.
You him and Han like, well, he wasn't. Yeah,
Right.
it's the whole perception of the thing. So you just need
Right.
to not say it.
This is, allegedly this has been going on for at least 8 years. In those 8 years, Tucker was kicking at his highest levels. This was before the Browns got Deshaun Watson. And so
Hmm.
are you saying during that time you would have let him go if you found out those allegations? I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think so. So yeah, zero tolerance. It's all part of that, prison industrial complex of three strikes, you're out. No grace, no mercy. I understand there are some things. Yeah, you eliminate yourself from being able to participate because of some things that you would do. But when you're talking that policy, you got to live by it. You got to die by it. And
Hmm.
so, if the Ravens would have say the ruling came back and it was favorable for Tucker, and they decided to keep him, man, that would have been a rough season for them because all you're going to hear is they talk about zero tolerance and the NFL's supposed to care about women, this, that, and the other. He's still on the team. Women are not coming to the games, all of these things. And so, yeah, I think they put themselves also in a corner where they had to go ahead and make that
Hmm.
move because, they've been touting that we don't take any shenanigans from our players. The Steelers today they traded George Pickens to the Dallas Cowboys. They will send a 2026 third round pick and a 2027 fifth round pick to the Steelers for Pickens and a 2027 sixth round pick. Excuse me. Uh, they've been searching. The Dallas has been for a legit wide receiver to go along with C.D. Lamb and Pickens. Should elevate that offense. What do you think about that trade? Who wins?
Somehow the Steelers still came out on top in that trade,
Mm-hmm.
um, because of Pickens' attitude. You may have seen, me and one of our buddies was going back on the text this morning talking about Pickens. I think Pickens, without the attitude, could be he could lead the league in receptions and yardage. I think he is the premier wide
Mm-hmm.
receiver because of his hands, the catches that he can make. I think teaming up with CD Lamb in Dallas could turn into a venomous combination for their offense. But he has to get their attitude together. Just because of that, I think getting three draft picks, and the Steelers are a team that drafts well. They do develop wide receivers very well. I think that they win this trade. In the long run, in the immediate, if Dallas can at least get some production out of him without his mouth, I think Dallas will have the immediate positive impact.
Yeah, I think the Ravens won because George Pickens was wearing the Ravens
When
out,
our asses out.
wearing our team out, and so to
And it
me,
didn't matter who was
didn't
behind
matter who
center.
was. Yeah, it didn't matter. Russ was throwing stuff up. Anybody was throwing stuff up, and he was getting it. And so I'm very happy. It's a win for us. It's a win for our secondary. It's a win for Wiggins and Humphrey and the new guy that they drafted. It's a win for them. It's a win for Kyle Hamilton, all of those guys because he was putting in work on the Ravens. And so thank you, Pittsburgh. Thank you for sending a Baltimore Ravens killer to another team
Because
that
we
we
would
ain't
have
got to
had
worry
to
about
deal
him.
with him and DK Metcalf.
Oh my God. So yes, I'm very pleased. Thank you. So yeah, yeah. The Ravens won that one.
Ah,
The Ravens
yeah.
won that trade. Hey man, the Moes, they about to get the NFL draft, and it looked like the NFL is selling out to Trump. And so 1 week after agreeing to a deal to lure the Washington Commanders back into the city, into DC. DC, they received more good news. They're going to host the 2027 NFL draft. And as you didn't see, Donald Trump made the announcement Monday at the White House in a news conference attended by DC's Mayor Muriel Bowser, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell, and Commanders owner Josh Harris. And so Goodell, he expects more than 1 million visitors to attend the three-day draft, which is expected to be held on the National Mall where the Washington Monument stands. As a matter of fact, I saw somebody said this is going to be the million-man draft. And so, like, how they gonna do the million man
Y'all
drive?
don't take nothing seriously, do y'all?
Like, come on, yo. And so, DC getting this is NFL. I mean, this don't have nothing to do with Trump because Trump did not bring. I'm sure this was negotiations between the Commanders and the mayor there, Mayor Bowser. But of course, Donald Trump's going to take all the glory out of this. How you feeling about this? The Moes are going to get it. It's going to be a lot of mambo sauce down there. It's going to be a lot of different things. A lot of go going to be being played at the National Mall. Not that it's not being played already. And so, what you John think about that with the Moes down there?
Hey man, first of all, you alluded to it, but if you're trying to take the Trump factor out of it, the NFL has been in bed with Trump for a long time. Even though they didn't want to add him to the club, he's been getting denied from the club. As soon as he
Right.
became president the first term and started, I'd have kicked his guy right out of the NFL, got his ass up out of
A
there.
lot of these
He,
owners contributed to his campaign.
Exactly. He had a lot to do with Kaepernick, whether they want to say it or not.
Hmm.
The end racism slogan was gone at the Super Bowl this year because
Hmm.
they didn't want to offend the commander in chief. How do you anyway? I'm not going to get into that. So he has a hand in everything. So I'm not going to say he didn't have a hand in this. I don't really care. I'm only a first day draft guy. The only thing that I want for the draft is for Baltimore to get it, just because of the economic impact that it could and the light that it could bring to the city. But to be very honest, and most of us are only a first day draft people. We watch it for our team. We get
Right.
interested in other teams. I mean, we like to see it, but we watch it for our team. After day one, you have to pretty much be a diehard to watch the second day of the draft, and you have to be a statistician, diehard nerd fan to watch the third day of the draft. So I don't, as a football fan, it doesn't really bother me too much. It doesn't mean DC is going to win anything. They just won the chance to host the draft. Ain't going. They doesn't mean they. Even though I like Jaden Daniels, I mean that might be good for
Hmm.
him. Make him show up. He's going to go with where did Washington finish? What? Oh, so they're going to
No, this
finish.
27.
That's what I'm saying. They're going to finish last with the first pick of the NFL draft. The Washington Commanders select.
I select his mother. His mother is
You
thicker.
think his? Nah,
His
I'm gonna
mother
take.
thicker than cold grits, my
She
friend.
alright. I'm gonna take Xavier. It's Xavier. What's his name in Kansas City? His mom's. Jeez.
Yeah, I
Oh
know. Jaden mother probably a little. You like them lighter, you know.
no, Jade mother got the qualities, but I like Xavier's
Xavier
Xavier
Worthy,
Worthy. Xavier
his
Worthy
mother,
mother bad.
his
I mean
mother.
she.
Where's my guy? Smash, double smash.
I watch him and he is hilarious.
Mhm.
He even talked about, he said, and I know you all are wondering where Xavier Worthy's mom is because she is the GOAT.
Right,
Triple smash with
triple
the
smash.
headboard rocking.
Right, it be killing me. Pass, respectfully.
But she looks like she's a lot of fun.
Right. Yeah, so we'll see what happened. But yeah, this whole thing, Trump's going to steal the glory
Of
and
course. Of course.
all those things. But hey, good for DC. Good that the team's
Yeah.
coming back to the city. I think that whole which was originally called Raljon, and then it went to Landover. That whole thing, I think that just didn't work. It was tough to get into that stadium. It was tough getting out. Wasn't necessarily accessible. People just never liked the location, and then the stadium start falling apart. Going back to DC is probably best for them. And so, all right, Mose, I hope y'all enjoy that. Let's go ahead and transition to a little NBA. And Calvin, your legacy team, they washed out in the first round. They
Yeah.
went up and got a third seed. You was all happy. I think you had when we talked about it, you kind of said they was on their way to the Western Conference Finals at least. They had a good
Yeah.
draw. Yo, I didn't forget. They had a good
Let me
draw.
oh
Now,
my
let me
goodness.
finish. Let me preamble this. And so, yeah, hey, Luca, LeBron, you was all, you was on this full tilt that this was going, be beneficial. They were on their way. You were even like, yeah, I don't want to see the Rockets. No, you didn't want to see the Golden State
I didn't want to
Warriors.
see the Warriors.
You
Right.
want, yeah, give me the YNs. Let me get the Rockets. You had it all mapped out, but you forgot about Anthony Richardson. You forgot about Ant-Man. And
I did.
Ant-Man went up in there
I did.
and they put it on them winning the series 4-1. As a matter of fact, your boy LeBron, he liked to get injured when he lose. And so that last game, he suffered an MCL sprain in the game 5 loss and all. He limping around. He only limping for the cameras. It remind me of what happened when he was in Cleveland. And all of a sudden he was dapping everybody with the left hand because allegedly he sprained or he broke the right hand or whatever. So he going off court dapping everybody with the left, and all of a sudden you look up, he got a soft cast on and all this. And so you all right, bro? I just want to, Luca, all that hookah and beer came back to get on him. They put him in the blender defensively. They just kept on wherever he was. They were like pick and roll, get out the way, bring Luca over here. They put him in the blender. He couldn't hit a layup. He couldn't do nothing. Then he was all hurt up. What looked like a great trade. And I think I thought it was a good trade. I
It's
mean,
an
and
excellent trade.
it did its thing, but the rest of that team didn't show up in the playoffs. Reeves, he didn't really do too much. Hachitachi, he played well, but it wasn't enough. And you got games where JJ Redick, who was supposed to be this great, JJ Redick was the cure, and that we winning these games and all this, that, and the other. And then he got in the playoffs and he turned into the JJ Redick they hated at Duke. And so I think a lot of people forgot that they used to hate JJ Redick.
I didn't forget.
You didn't forget, and so
Top one of my top three most hated college players ever is JJ Redick.
man,
And
what?
most of them are
Mhm.
From Duke. JJ Redick, Christian Leitner, and Danny Ferry. Yeah, all three of them
Yeah,
are
yeah,
from Duke,
Danny
actually.
Ferry. Yeah. So what happened to your Lakers, bro?
First of all, let me just say this, cause how soon we forget. After I said it, when we kicked it over to Garland, Garland came and was like, "Yeah, I can see that too. The Western Conference Finals being the Lakers." So stop it. Stop
I can say
acting
they
like
you saw I see them there, but I did not see them. You had them going all the way.
no, I did, and then I said, "No, I'm just kidding. I don't. I had OKC going to the finals.
Okay.
You don't want me to pull it up. I said it. Then I
Okay.
was like, Nah, OKC is going to the
We're
finals.
gonna need to start
But I
keeping
had the Western.
transcripts on this show.
I'll pull it back up for you. I'll pull it back up
I
for
know
you.
you
But
will.
I had him going to the Western Conference Finals. But I will say this:
Hmm.
um, any true, honest basketball fan and Laker fan will tell you we were playing with house money. We should not have even gotten the third seed, but that Luca trade charged us up, so we were playing with house money. Um, we did not account for how good Ant Man was last year in the playoffs and how he came back again. And Ant Man is one of
I
those
said
special players.
Richardson, Anthony Edwards.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
Edwards. Yeah, Ant Man is one of those special players where he's so good, but he makes his team good.
Hmm.
And that's the thing about him. He's not just a solo superstar. He not only makes them good, he energizes them, encourages them to be good. He's like one of them leaders of his team. And he's a leader that doesn't even want to be the leader of his team. But he's one of them that his teammates look like they will walk through brick walls for him. Where Ray Lewis could give a speech and do it, it's just the way Ant Man carries himself on that field, the way he goes out there and battles every day. The
Hmm.
boy is special. The boy is special. I need him to get 3, 4 rings before his career is over. I need him to go down as one of the best in history. He is special. Maybe too early for that now, but we also said the same thing about Jokic. We said the same thing about Curry. It might be too early to start doing.
Right.
But look at
Right.
these guys. You know what I mean? When you see these special players at the beginning, you got to watch them because these boys give it up. So shout out to Minnesota. I'm not even mad at them. Wish my Lakers could have gone a little farther, but playing with house money and running into Ant-Man, yeah, it just wasn't in the cards for
Yeah,
us.
yeah. I think LeBron's age is caught up with him. A long season, he
Absolutely.
played a lot of minutes,
Absolutely.
getting into the playoffs, playing a lot of minutes. I don't think that benefited him at all.
And they
41,
still
although he,
needed some help. You
yeah,
exactly right. They didn't have any help. Remember, they had the big man that they traded for from I believe it's
yeah,
from
but
Charlotte,
but
but
they had to give him back. They
they
had to
had to
void
give
that
him back.
trade,
He
and
didn't pass
so
the
yeah,
physical.
didn't pass the physical,
So
and yeah, they just didn't have a lot,
they didn't
and
have it. Yeah.
they ain't even put Bronny in. I thought Bronny, everybody was talking about him and Bronny, him and his dad, and
Y'all gonna stop because everybody was not talking
yes,
about
they
him and
were.
Mrs.
Bro, they was talking about, they were talking about that in the barbershop. I know you're not in the barbershop
Ah,
all the time anymore, but bro, yeah, him and Bronny, Bronny is gonna be a perfect point guard for that team. Okay.
no,
Yeah, but
no one
anyway.
has ever said that.
Yes, they had, bro. Yes, they
Who
had.
said I'm a Laker fan and I ain't never say
Bruh,
that?
people like Bronny need to get some run. Bronny need to get some run. I thought Bronny was supposed to be the bridge to help Dad get that championship, but he saw Dad limping off. But but no, I just think you get in the playoffs, teams play better defense. Your matchups are better and they're more
Hmm.
magnified as opposed when you're playing 82 games. You might get a back to back where that team ain't prepared for you, and it's a different type of level. It's a different type of intensity, and teams could really plan for you and make up game planning, and they did that. They identified the Lakers' weakness was Luca, and they made Luca work on the defensive end. As opposed to the year before when he was with Dallas and they washed them in the playoffs. Well, they washed him because he had Kyrie, so you had another person who can handle the ball. They played very well off the ball, and he was really washing their big men in the pick and roll against this year. They don't have Cat as a call Anthony Towns as a liability on a lot of those pick and rolls. They didn't have Gobert in a lot of those pick and rolls as a liability. And they were able to play better defensively against him. Although he got his points, he did not go off like he did the year before when
And
they
his
made that
shooting
championship
percentage
run.
wasn't
Right,
great.
right.
So
Yeah. So, but I think Minnesota might get a chance with Kerry at least being out for a week with that hamstring strain. Excuse me, trying to put it all together. And so they're thinking at least he's going to be out at least a week. And so, there's an opportunity, although they lost last night, good game by Buddy Hield, by Draymond Green. And I think because they got Butler, it may not be a total wash, but if they can hold on and fight through this, because I don't think they're going to sweep them, if they could get to 5 or 6 games and bring Curry back, I think that's great for them. But, we'll see what happens with that. Greg Popovich has officially retired as coach of the San Antonio Spurs. Pop won 5 championships. That's crazy. 5 championships. He won at least 62% of the games that he coached in. He won over 1,400 games, 1,422, lost 869. I think he'll go down as one, if not one, in the top five. I think, you had of coaches, I think, in terms of his ability to get a team there. He did win Coach of the Year 3 times out of the 20 plus seasons that he coached. At least it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those seasons was as an assistant coach. Or at least 23 years that he coached as a head coach. He won 3 Coach of the Year awards. He won 5 championships, several Western Conference finals and championships along that way. What are your thoughts in terms of Popovich as a top 5 NBA all-time coach?
so it would take me a minute to go through the coaches, but I definitely see him as one of the best ever. I
Hmm.
can't argue that he's not top five. When I think about Greg Popovich, I also think about the decades and some of the legendary players, some of the talents that he's had a hand in building, whether it's on the court, in the coaching ranks. You talk about a Becky Hammonds, who was supposed to be heir apparent, but Greg wasn't going nowhere for a while,
Right,
so she
right.
went on and did her thing in the WNBA. But I think she also coached one of the Big Three teams. I think she also coached one of them. I could be wrong. You think about Sean Elliott, David Robinson. He had Dennis Rodman on the team at one point. Avery Johnson, Manu Ginobili. People forget that's where Kawhi Leonard started. That's where
Right,
Kawhi got his chops at.
right.
Tim Duncan. I mean, you're talking guys that are easily some of the best players the NBA has ever seen. Tony Parker, who messed up his thing with Eva Longoria. What you doing there, bro? That was she was.
Hey, some her feet might have stank. You never know. It's always something.
He was cheating with Brent Barry's wife. Was it Brent Barry's
Hey,
wife he
yeah,
was
yeah,
cheating
yeah. That's what they said. You never know.
but no, yeah, man, Greg Popovich. I mean, when you go back to David Robinson, you're talking about Michael Jordan days. You're talking about Dennis Rodman was there before he played with the Bulls. So Greg
Hmm.
Popovich has seen it all. He's played against them. He's coached them. He's coached against the greats. He's coached against Phil Jackson. Shout out to Greg Popovich. A legacy, a legend. He should get all of his flowers, if not the rest of the remaining this season. They should honor him all through next season. I think the next guy we have on the list for NBA coaching might be Eric Spoelstra. I think Eric Spoelstra might be the next guy with tenure at one team in the NBA. And I think with Popovich going down, that brought up Mike Tomlin to the number one spot of coaching with the same team in career. I think he's number one now. And of
Okay,
course, there's quite a few at number two, one
sure.
being our guy, John Harbaugh.
Hmm.
But yeah, shout out to Greg Popovich, man.
All right, quick. Mount Rushmore coaches: Red Auerbach, Pat Riley, Phil Jackson, Greg Popovich.
I'm
I
not
don't
going to
think you.
argue that.
Yeah, I don't think
No,
you can argue that.
no argument. No
All right,
argument here.
there you go.
I'm trying. Look, I'm trying to think of somebody, but you got to think of the legendary teams. And once you said Pat
Mhm.
Riley and Popovich coached against Pat Riley,
Right.
did he coach against them as a Laker? I know he did as Miami, as
As a
Heat,
Nick and as a Nick.
and as a Knick.
Right.
I forgot Pat was with the Knicks.
And as a Nick.
Yeah,
And
I'll give top
so,
five easily.
yeah,
That's an easy top five. Yeah,
definitely.
easy,
Yeah, I mean,
easy.
he did coach against Phil Jackson. He definitely coached against Jackson's
Yeah,
Lakers.
yeah.
And I
Jackson's
believe he
entire career.
probably coached against them when he was in Chicago as well.
Yeah, Jackson's entire career.
Yeah.
Because again, that was before he had Dennis Rodman before the Bulls got Dennis Rodman.
Right.
So
Right. Right. Yeah. So, all right. So, in religious news, you think we're gonna get a black pope?
I
Now,
meant you.
just for
Uh,
the people, the conclave's going on. You know that the Pope died a couple weeks ago. Now you have all the cardinals. If you ever watched the movie Conclave, if you haven't watched it, go watch it. It's a great movie. As a matter of fact, it was nominated for Best Picture at the this past year's Academy Awards. Good movie. Kind of gives you the inside of the selection process for the Pope. And I want to. We going. You think we're gonna get a black Pope?
I meant to read more into it when you sent the topic because I remember hearing about a week or so ago that there were two black cardinals that they were
Hmm.
considering that might be it. So I don't know enough to say yes or no with my full chest. I'm gonna say I hope so. I'm gonna say
Okay.
I hope so.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. They got. I'm looking at a little list right now. Let's see who they got up. They got some people up, but nah, ain't only one of them is a Democratic Republic of the Congo. Um, but yeah, the rest of these dudes. Oh,
Car-
they got an Asian dude. They got a dude from
I thought they had
Japan.
two. I thought they had two black cardinals that were up. Only one? You only see
No,
one? I
I
thought it
only
was
see
two.
one. His name is Ferdinand Ambongo Bensingu, and he's from the DRC.
Cardinal
Um,
Cardinal Jenkins ain't make it.
Cardinal Jenkins ain't make it. Reverend Jackson ain't on here. Uh, you got my brother from Japan, Ashitachi. He's on here. You got a couple U.S. dudes on here. Y'all ain't gonna get it. And some Italian dudes, a dude from the Philippines, and so there's some candidates out here, and we'll see. So in our lifetime, that would be cool to have a brother pope.
It really would be
It'd be
black
cool.
in our lifetime. A black president and a black pope.
Oh my goodness.
Come on.
Yeah, you ain't gonna learn about that in school though. They're gonna be like, "That's DEI."
Yeah, can't learn about that.
Can't learn about that. All right, bro. We at the favorite part of our show. Come on, yo. And so we're gonna go ahead and close y'all out. I'll start. I think you went the last time we went. Um, come on, you people who are out here with the conspiracy theories about Deion Sanders and Shedeur Sanders. Let's stop, man. Let's stop. Let's stop. Let's stop. Sometimes, you just have causality, and I think it's cool to realize that sometimes things do happen because it's just the way that it happens. It's not always. Now, as a black man, do I believe that racism is real? Yes. Do I believe that people were denied a chance because of the color of their skin? Yes. But I do also understand that the NFL is not about race. It's about, if they believe in the color, it's about green. It's about capitalism. It's about money. It's about who can make me the most money by winning championships, by exposure on TV, by the endorsements that I'm able to bring to my franchise. And you'll take one of those orangutans that's going to fight the 100 brothers if you think that orangutan is going to help you win. And so, um, yeah, it's not a conspiracy theory all the time. So it's cool. We can have differences of opinion. People don't have to be sellouts. Like I was saying in my DMs, got people talking about I'm down for the downfall of the black man. Ain't nobody blacker than me. Trust me, I'm as black as it get. I know I'm light skinned, but I'm the light skinned brother in the B.I.G show. But trust me, I'm black. I'm black. I'm black. I'm blacker than I'm black and I'm black. Just like that movie, CB4. I'm black, y'all, and
CB4.
I'm
I'm
black,
blackity
y'all.
black and black,
I'm
y'all.
blackity black, black, black. Okay, you ain't never don't ever doubt that. Okay, and so yeah, this Kaepernick, he knelt down for a bigger cause than Shedeur being drafted in the 5th round. Shadeur's gonna be all right. He gonna make his money. As soon as they drafted him on Saturday, you know what I saw right after that when they cut the commercial? A Gatorade commercial with Shedeur in it. We out here crying, oh, Shedeur is getting screwed, Shedeur. As soon as they went to break, the first commercial they showed was Gatorade commercial, and Shedeur was in the Gatorade commercial. So, yeah, save me, man. Shedeur gonna be all right. Deion gonna be all right. We gonna be all right. He gonna get his opportunity, but it's not all a conspiracy theory, y'all. That's all I got. So come on, y'all.
Y'all don't know. Garland has been chomping at the bit to get
I've
at this Shedeur Sanders talk
been
for. I mean, we
about
we
three
went
weeks
to
now.
we went to the draft at Raven Stadium at
Yes,
M&T,
forgot to
and
mention
Garland
that.
was just woo, chomping at the bit.
Shedeur.
Garland hit me last week. Was like, "We doing this Monday, right? We
Right.
doing this Monday."
Like, bro, these people been at my neck. People on Facebook, all the social media. Yeah, talk to your boy Garland. What?
I was like, Garland, I can't Monday. It's the baby's birthday. Garland was like, oh man, you shut me down. You silencing me. I thought Garland was just gonna go on a solo mission and be like, yo.
I'm about to say, yo, I might have to do this one without you, Calvin. Go ahead and take care of the landlord because I'm tired. I'm tired. People DMing me on Saturday morning at 7 in the morning. Yeah. I'm like, yo, why are you sending me conspiracy clips about Shedeur and Deion? I'ma send them to you because you sound like you're a seller. Bro, no, come on, man. We just we read our hand wrong. That's all. That's all. We read that. We thought we was running to Boston, but we got set, and it's cool. He gonna get drafted. He gonna play in the league. It ain't no conspiracy. Young man gonna make his money. And sure enough, when he got drafted, He right in the Gatorade commercial. Jerseys then already he gonna be all right. Shedeur gonna be
All right, let me hit my come on, yo, and this should be no surprise to anyone that knows us.
all right. Okay.
Come on, Baltimore Orioles.
Oh Lord.
You all flat out stink. We
Oh
didn't even talk about you this show. Do you know why?
Lord.
Because
Nothing to talk
every
about.
show, it's do you think they missed the playoff? Garland asks me this every show, and he's like, "You think the playoff window is closing?" And I'm always like, "No, not really. It's too early. It's too early. Playoff window is closed.
It's
We
too
don't have any pitching. You keep marching Charlie Morton back out there. Guess who pitching tonight, Garland?
um who
0-6 Charlie Morton is pitching tonight.
Gibson not pitching tonight? Calvin and I went to last Tuesday. They played the Yankees, and we were at the game when they hit 4 home runs in the first
In the first inning.
inning.
Listen,
First
I,
four
le-
batters hit.
I leaned over to Garland and said, as long as they don't give up any runs in the first to second, as soon as I said it, shoot, home run. I said, I just said that, and look what, and then again, shoot, home run. Then another home run. Then they got what's his name? They used to play with Colorado out.
Right.
And you got him out, so we thinking we over
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Goldschmidt. They got Goldschmidt out.
Paul Goldsmith out, Arizona, not Colorado.
Arizona.
Play with
Yeah.
Arizona. And then the next bat, as a matter of fact, I was like, I started yelling, yeah, they should have hit four. Got him out. What the next batter do? Home run. Yo, it was never seen anything like it
I
before in my
left the
life.
game early. They tried to crack on me. Calvin tried to crack on me, y'all,
We
because I left.
did. We did until we left the game about 3 outs after you left the game. And that's one of my points. Like, come on, Oreo. We never leave games early. We sit
It's
there
like,
to the
bye,
end,
y'all.
but it's so brutal to watch. The sticks aren't doing anything. They're not hitting. They're not pitching. In the off season, they did not address the pitching, and it's killing us. They thought that these young guys, which they, probably rightfully so, would carry them, but you still needed some sort of big bat in there, and you let Santander go. You let him go. You let Burns go, and they were your two big. They were your two big impact players. Although Santander may not have been the best player, he was an impact player, and Burns was your best pitcher. You let both of them go. These injuries are just decimating your pitching rotation, but you don't have any bats to back it up to help out, and it is awful. Come on, Baltimore Orioles. Not to mention, one game we went there, the TV monitor in our section wasn't working. You you don't
We won
you
that
don't
game.
give us discounts on alcohol anymore. I went to the game and the damn people in the I had to damn fuss them out and cuss at them and stuff. Come on, Baltimore Orioles, you are absolutely killing your fan base right now. We had such high hopes for this season. After you got swept in the wild card round last year by a combined score of 3-1. Come on, Baltimore Orioles.
Yeah, I do like the all you can drink soda though. Now you can buy a cup and you can get all you can drink soda.
Keep the
But
soda and give me a discount on my mango cart.
this guy was manager of the year in 2023. I don't think he's going to last the whole season. He's having a rough time. They're playing a couple minutes, but yeah, this guy right here. Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah. The
brutal.
window. You
It's
know what? I
brutal.
was reading an article on ESPN. You can find it. It's talking about the Orioles and comparing them to teams where these teams had the highest ranked farm teams, farm systems, and how they were doing in those years that they had the highest ranked farm system and the highest ranked players. And they function just about on the same level of these teams. Only a couple of them won championships. A couple of them had consecutive years, excuse me, of playoff appearances. And so, yeah, that they've put out lineups out there with Laureano leading off. They've had lineups where they had, Lord knows, hitting cleanup. Half the team is injured. It is just not
It's a
a good.
brutal.
Yeah,
It's
it's
bad.
brutal. The pitching, the hitting. That guy that they brought in to replace Santander. Yeah, he hit a home run in the first game, like he's done the last 5 or 6 years, but he hadn't done any. O'Neal, he hadn't done anything
And then he
since
got
then.
hurt. Tyler O'Neill. Then he
Oh,
got hurt.
yeah, and then it's the other day I was watching I was on the stick and I was watching the Marlins game, and Kyle Stowers he up there hitting 2 home runs in the game, hit the winning grand slam. Kyle Stowers is who they traded for to get one of the pitchers who's on the injured list, Rogers, from Miami last season. And so Stowers is hitting three something. He's in the top 10 in all the offensive categories on the Marlins, is raking the ball. And we got hurt Kerstad, and hadn't seen Colton Cowser in about a month.
He's hurt.
And yeah,
He's hurt.
he's hurt. And yeah, yeah,
All-star Jordan Westbrook hurt.
yeah.
He might be back now. He might be back now.
Ramon Laureano is the main left fielder right now. So
Who actually plays a good left field. He's
plays a
not a
good left
bad.
field, but
Yeah, he's
this
not a
guy
bad
was
fielder,
supposed to be
but he
your
ain't hitting. He
yeah,
ain't
he
hitting.
was supposed to be your give a break to your outfield guy. He's not supposed to be playing every day. He's not.
Just
So yeah, I feel you.
come on, Orioles. Gunnar Henderson. I don't just stay there. Let the ball come to you and throw it.
Yeah,
Everything is a hop, skip, and a jump with this month. Everything is a hop, skip, and jump
they
with
hit
him.
one to short the other night against the Royals. He dropped it, but he picked it back up, was able to get it the first on time. But I'm like, this guy.
Well, what about the one in the Yankees game where they hit directly to him and he just dropped it? And the next batter scored the runs. It was 2 outs. It would have been inning ending.
Yeah,
I just come on, Baltimore
yeah,
Orioles. You're
yeah,
killing
yeah,
us.
yeah. Rushman's not
You're killing us.
hitting. Mountcastle's not hitting. Yeah, the only bright spot really is said, and
Sad.
he's trade bait right now.
He is absolute
He's
trade
trade
bait.
bait right now.
He's absolute. He went from batting ninth on opening day to
Yeah,
now leading off
yeah,
again, where he
he's trade
should have
bait.
never lost anyway.
Right. So they brought up Kobe Mayo. So we see. I mean, hey, the Astros started off rough last year. They made the playoffs. The Tigers, they made the playoffs and made a minor run. They started off rough to where they were out of it and they were unloading players and got back in it. And so we'll see.
Come on, Baltimore Orioles. You're still disappointing us.
We'll see.
We need some money. Anyway, hey man, another good show. We got a lot in. We are going to very soon do a breakdown of the movie
Sinners.
Sinners.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good
because
movie.
it's
Go see it.
such a good movie. Whole lot of layers in the movies, and even if you're not into that, it's just a good movie.
It's a good
It's
movie.
just a good
Yeah,
movie to see.
go
So
see it.
even if you're not
See it for
into,
yourself.
yeah.
I've seen people love it. I've seen some people like, oh, I don't understand. Okay, okay, cool.
Now, I've never seen anyone hate it, which is a good sign.
Have not seen any
But
hate,
I
but I
have
see
seen
people like,
some. It's just okay.
it's
It's
just
just okay. Yeah.
okay. It's
So
just okay. It's kind of like the same reactions people had to Get Out. You had some people that were over the top for Get Out. Then you had some people like, I don't see what all the fuss is.
I thought Get Out was 6.5 out of 10.
Ooh, ooh.
I enjoyed the
See
movie.
what I said?
I enjoyed the movie, but I saw it a few different times, and I still gave it about a 6.5.
Mm,
I thought Us was a better movie than Get Out.
ooh,
I liked Us.
ooh.
I really
I
did like Us.
I would give Us a 6. I would probably
Really?
give, yeah, I would Get Out probably at least a
Look,
9, no
with
less than a 9.
Lupita and her whole a long time ago, there
Yeah,
was a girl. What?
yeah, I didn't get that. And the one after that with my man the girl, oh my god, well, I want to forget her name. She was a child star, now she's
Oh,
adult.
Kiki.
Yeah, Kiki
Yeah,
Palmer
I thought that was
and
a two.
Daniel Kalula.
That was a two.
Yeah, that wasn't a good movie.
That movie was not good at all.
Yeah. So
I didn't even really understand the fucking movie. Let's be very
mhm,
honest with you. It was a two. It
yeah,
was a fucking two.
yeah. But
Big ass spaceship taking motherfuckers
yeah,
in the
I
desert.
didn't like Us as much as I liked.
I
Yeah.
liked us. I enjoyed us. I really liked that. Anyway, so we will try to come back next week. Listen, we ain't gonna make no promises here. We just, you know,
We're gonna see y'all.
we just yes, hey, we just doing what
We'll
we
see how
do.
it go, y'all. We'll let y'all know. We'll see y'all when y'all. We'll see you when we see you.
see what we see. We're gonna try next week. You know
You
what
have
I
been
mean?
listening to
You never
the
know what's
B.I.G.
gonna come
show.
up and shit.
This
It
show
might,
was
you know,
produced and written by
nigga
Calvin
might have a
Coates and Garland
colonoscopy
Thomas for
appointment
All
that
Things
we
Black
forgot about and
Productions.
shit. You just never
Follow
know.
us
Oh
on
yeah,
all
you
of
Matter of
your
will.
fact, I need to
podcast media
schedule my
platforms.
anyway.
Yep, do
We'll
it.
just do that
And drink that poop juice so you can get ready.
later. Let it go.
Peace.